I'm sitting here with my buddy Tim. Right now, my name's Jason. This is Tim. Tim is trying to start a home-based business, as many of you are, and he's found a pretty good niche. But the biggest thing that people struggle with is, in my opinion, making that transition from their job and, how am I going to come up with the money and how am I going to be able to do this and afford it, especially if you have kids and a family you need to support. Well, this is my buddy Tim. He's gonna explain to you, kind of what he found in doing it and give you some tips. And I think you might find it useful because he's an everyday guy, pretty much exactly like you are. So take it away, Tim.
Thanks, Jason. Well, just to transition, I was always searching for an opportunity where I could stay at home and be there for my children. And several years ago, I became a loan officer for a small company in my small town, and thought that would give me the flexibility and time to spend with my kids. But what I didn't realize after many years of that, there was also that industry was going through a lot of changes, and the opportunity to make some serious money in that industry was going to be a lot tougher than what they were able to do in the past.
So you could see out into like the future, as a lot of people are. The economy's tougher. I mean, you're probably not going to be able to provide the type of lifestyle that you want. Or the free time. You're going to be working harder and making less money, quite frankly, as a lot of people have found. I mean, is that accurate?
That's very accurate. And what I did is I was searching for another way in that industry to work for a larger company, and I was hired on by Countrywide, which was going through some turmoil at that time, and Bank of America was purchasing them. And I thought, wow, there's a big opportunity for me to work with a company that has it all figured out. And I was going to be able to work with some mentors and some managers and some sales managers that knew a system that I could follow, and also create a huge income from that, and some success that would last long term. Well, unbeknownst to me, is that my son's walking in. It's kind of nice.
That's
home,
good.
But I'm hanging out with my son at home before he goes back to school next week. What I found is that that with the changes in that industry, they were constantly changing their approaches and things that I had to also change. And I knew if I worked really hard, so I got working really hard, got very diligent at contacting previous customers with this company, and did very well, put in the time, the hours, and the effort, and did very well. And then it came time to write our goals for the following year, and I was sitting there sweating, going, man, what I just went through wasn't fun. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go through that. It means I have to work almost twice as hard to double what I made the year before. And
not to cut you off, but I experienced the same thing. I was doing real estate, so it's your typical sales job, and worked really hard, made good money, but the motto was always the same. The manager in the sales office, and I'm sure everybody listening to this video can relate, is, okay, just go find one more now. And it never ends. Literally, there's no break. It never ends. And it's like, if I had stayed that route, I wouldn't be able to be sitting here with Tim in his house. He's got his son here who's walking in, and, but yeah, so I can relate. I think everybody can relate. So let me ask you this, not to cut off your story, but how about the transition? How hard is it to make the transition? How did you find, what have you found with that? Any tips with the transition and specifically?
Well, first of all, you definitely want to keep your income options open. When a successful person contacts you and asks you, and basically says, hey, look, I've got something I want you to see, you listen to successful people. You take their lead on this, and then I've done my research, and I've done more research than you need to do. I just found a simple way of creating additional income outside of what I was currently doing, and it did not take a lot of time to do that. And the transition was, I didn't want to be in that industry anymore. For one, I didn't like what I was doing, and I didn't like disappointing people day after day. So I was looking for something that I could help people and help them transition their life into something different. And so I saw this opportunity and I jumped on it. And and the Bank of America made that decision for me by closing all their offices in Wisconsin, over not quite a year ago. And I said, wow, this is just a good sign to tell me this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pursue this. If I put half the effort in that I did in that being a loan officer, into this business, I'll be successful for the rest of my life and create generational income time after time.
And the business that Tim is talking about, we'll get to that in a minute. But long story short, for me personally too, the transition is always one key thing. Well, how am I going to step away from my job and be making money to do it? What people don't realize is, for the most part, you don't have to leave your job. I would start any business. I would never recommend that you quit your job cold turkey and then try to generate income in a home-based business. Okay, I would keep my job. I would find something on the side that I'm interested in, and I would gradually build that income. I did not do that. I quit cold turkey, so the pressure is super high, especially if you have a family to support. So speaking from experience, I'm telling you, keep your job if you have that option, and you can gradually build into it, is the greatest thing I can say. And, Tim obviously has a little bit different experience being laid off from his job. But long story short, the most important factor is you find something that you like to do, and that's sort of what you did, what I'm gathering.
Exactly. I just saw it there. My wife still works corporate America. We've been, as we're building this business, I've been able to, she's been supporting us that way, but it has also allowed me to, be around for the kids, and my daughter who's 12 that's constantly involved with everything, and my son who is now getting involved with a lot of things. My wife doesn't have to worry about leaving her job early and be in different places, since she's got to drive about 45 minutes every day to get to her job. So the ultimate goal here is to get her out of her corporate America job before she turns 65, and we've got plenty of time before that happens, but it'd be nice to be able to have fun, travel, have these experience these memories with our kids while they're still young, and we're just going to ask you to follow along with us.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, guys. Well, if you liked the video today, what I want to do is we're gonna give you some other free content. Go ahead and click the like button below this video. If you like the video, it's just essentially raising your hand and saying, hey, this is a good video, and it lets other people know to watch it. And also then visit the link. When you visit that link, Tim will get into what he's doing on the side, the business he found after being laid off, that's helping him to make extra income, and is definitely going to be a major factor in supporting him and his family here in the very near future. Thanks for watching the video, and have a great day.